So hi, this is Ray's Rant for the Masses, and I am doing Planet of the Apes, the entire franchise. The first one, let me just start by saying, this one is the most awesomest sci-fi film of all time. Well, one of, starring Charlie Heston. Now, this one right here is just brilliant. I'm gonna be honest, it's just brilliant. It took it was based on a book. Now, it took the idea of what if basically monkeys took over the earth. And you think, oh, the monkeys. But the political themes incorporated into this film made it brilliant. I mean, uh, at the time, doing those kind of like guerrilla films, they look stupid. But in this one, they did it great. And it's just like it deals with racism, religion, politics. It has all that invested in this film. Now, anybody who's looking for this stuff can find it. Anybody who knows the era can find it. Um, not even you could just find it if you're just really paying attention to the film. Whereas somebody else would be like, "Hey, it's cool. It's monkeys taking over the earth." And then it started off that whole twist ending thing. At least in my opinion, that ending, pretty much everybody knows it, but then again, you don't know it. You're like, oh, that's where that ending came from. So when you watch, I recommend this for everybody. Anybody who's into the idea of racism, slavery, politics of that time. It's just all incorporated in there. It is brilliant. It's a must see for sci-fi fans. Um, and it's a timeless classic. That's all I gotta say about it. I give that movie a 10. Beneath the Planet of the Apes, there was no need for it. I mean, there really wasn't. There was a demand for it, but it was okay, I would guess. I mean, they brought back Charlie Heston. He didn't want to do it, but they brought him back anyway. They basically just got another actor to continue on the sequel. The reason why I didn't like it was because there was like a whole world of people who were like they were like mutants with superpowers. It just, I don't know, it just wasn't good. I'll give it a 6, but I really don't want to spend most of my review on just why that one was okay. Then comes this one, and this one revived the whole thing because basically, when the way they did Beneath Planet of the Apes was they ended it so that there wouldn't be any more sequels. Basically, I hate to spoil this, but the way it ends is that what ends up happening is, well, first let me tell you what happens in the first one. The first one happens is that ship goes into space. They plan to return back to Earth when there's no more humans left, and when they go back, they find out that they landed on this strange, mysterious planet, and it's ruled by monkeys. So Charlie Heston eventually gets away. He's captured and eventually gets away, and finds out that it's actually been Earth this entire time. So what ends up happening is that in the second one, another spaceship lands on Earth. It's a different pilot. He's looking for that original crew. Finds out the whole monkey thing. Then finds out about this mutant underground thing that's planning to kill the apes. And they have this nuclear warhead which blows up everything and destroys the planet. So when we reach Escape from Planet of the Apes, the title is very misleading. But basically, what ends up happening is that the characters of the character of Zira and Cornelius end up getting on a spaceship, going back in time on Earth, and boom, end up in the human era. So there's monkeys who can talk in the human era, and that's basically what the story is about. So they end up finding out that Zira is pregnant, and when she gets pregnant, they're like, "Holy crap! This is that baby that's gonna end up changing the world as we know it, making the world conquered by apes." So basically, they go on, trying to kill them, and it's like a chase movie. They're trying to figure out how they're gonna kill them, the baby or whatever, and they eventually kill Zira and Cornelius, which is really sad. But like I said, it was really good. So what ends up happening is that after they kill them off, they find out that nobody finds out, but you find out that they actually had a friend that was a zookeeper, and they switched to chimps. So when they killed the baby, they didn't kill the baby of Zira and Cornelius. So years pass, the monkey grows up, and monkeys evolve so that they're the height of humans. Because what ends up happening is that this plague takes over the earth and kills off regular house pets like cats and dogs and fish, or whatever the case may be. And what ends up happening is that basically the humans are left to want another pet, so they take on chimps. And then when they realize that chimps are smart enough to be taught, they start to teach them to do maid and butler stuff. So then comes Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. Well, that's basically the story for it. And what ends up happening is that this was the best, one of the best ones. It's my personal favorite. I mean, it's the best one since the first one because it goes back to the political themes. It goes back to the government conspiracies. It goes back to everything that originated the entire story. Plus, a lot more violence. It was a darker, depressing story. What ends up happening is that the zookeeper ends up releasing Caesar, which is Zira and Cornelius' son, into the wild to become taught as a regular monkey to do like monkey stuff or ape stuff. And what ends up happening is that after he goes to get taught, um, he ends up causing this rebellion because he felt that it wasn't fair that apes and orangutans and gorillas should be taught. I mean, treated the way they are as slaves. So that he develops the power. Well, he has the power of speech, and he teaches others, and they create this rebellion, and they create the Planet of the Apes, which is like it's all out war, it's all out violence. It's just even for the time that it was just badass. Now, what ends up happening is that they wanted to do yet another Planet of the Apes sequel because basically it's like Star Wars is doing the circle around. So it starts off at the end, and then it starts off at the beginning, and it goes around. So right now we're about to go back to the beginning since they rose to power. You found out how it happened. So then comes the final one, Battle for Planet of the Apes. Now, just by the title, it sounds like supremely badass. You would think that what would happen next is like there's like this whole human ape like fight, but they decided that they wanted to return back to the child-friendly Planet of the Apes, which doesn't make sense because the first one I don't even think was child-friendly. But a lot of kids liked it, so they wanted it more family-friendly. So they took out all the violence, they took out all the darkness, and basically they left it as like, hey, look, Planet of the Apes. So basically what ends up happening is that now that Caesar's in power and all this stuff, the apes are in power, they decided that they wanted to teach humans and apes to coincide and be happy. But the thing that kind of pissed me off was that like it made no sense because the way it ends, it's like kind of like ending Star Wars, the prequels, without Anakin becoming Darth Vader. It just didn't make sense. Like it didn't fit into the whole circle of the other one. So you're not sure if you left with the impression of, yeah, this is going full circle. It kind of does, but you're not left with that impression. You're also not left with the impression of basically what happens next. Like it felt like there was gonna be a sequel, but they knew that this was the last one. They advertised it as the last one. Um, and that's basically my review. So you can tell which ones are great and which ones are not. Um, but basically, just watch it, rate it, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the flip side.